Oh, Fritzy, Kevin Fritzy, Kevin Fritz. There's a reason we like you. There's a reason we like you. I love this letter. So let's read this letter from Kevin Fritz. Dear Judge Lyman, on behalf of Wayfarer Studios LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie LLC, Melissa Nathan, the agency group PR LLC, and Jennifer Abel, collectively the Wayfarer parties, we write in response to non-party Isabela Ferrer's motion to seal excerpts from the transcript of her deposition herein, the motion. Ms. Ferrer played the role of young Lily Bloom in the film It Ends With Us, in opposing the Wayfarer Party's summary judgment motion on her hostile work environment claim and other claims. Plaintiff Blake Lively relied heavily on Ms. Ferrer's alleged experiences on the set of the film. Thus, a strong presumption of public access applies to Ms. Ferrer's testimony on that subject. Indeed, this court correctly held in its November 26, 2025 order that the presumption of public access is at its peak in the context of dispositive motions. Ms. Ferrer, nevertheless, seeks to seal that testimony, stressing that she is a non-party who did not voluntarily choose to become involved in this litigation, and erroneously implying that the Wayfarer parties dragged her into this case in August 2025 when they sought to serve her via alternative means. And I love what's about to come up, because it's everything the Justin Baldoni supporters are saying. Isabela Ferrer, let's not do some revisionist history. You know exactly how you got dragged into this litigation, and it was not Wayfarer. So Kevin Fritz just lays it all out. Isabela, do you not remember? More accurately, in December 2024, Miss Lively's initial pleadings complained about a scene in the film involving Miss Ferrer's portrayal of young Lily. In March 2025, Miss Lively issued a subpoena to Ms. Ferrer to produce documents. In June 2025, Ms. Lively served her amended initial disclosures in which she identified Ms. Ferrer as someone with knowledge of matters relevant to Ms. Lively's claims of harassment and retaliation. The court may recall that given Ms. Ferrer's contention in August 2025 that she had been improperly drawn into litigation, the Wayfarer parties offered to stipulate that none of the parties will use any communication to, from, or concerning Ms. Ferrer or any testimony from her in any matter in this action. Ms. Lively did not agree to such preclusion or any similar remedy. We reiterate our proposal. So the ball is in your court, Lively. Okay, the ball is in your court. Ms. Ferrer, Isabela's claim, I don't want to be involved. Don't put... Ma'am, why are you acting like Wayfarer is the one that did it? your beloved Miss Lively's the one who dragged you into this, and she's the reason you're staying in it. And you darn well know that. Miss Lively's second amended complaint alleges that certain Wayfarer parties created a hostile work environment in violation of federal and state employment laws by, among other purported incidents, filming a simulated sex scene in which young Lily and her boyfriend, the character Atlas, lose their virginity, which moment Miss Lively acknowledges in reference in the book on which the film is based. Furthermore, Ms. Lively's amended initial disclosures state that Ms. Ferrer has information relating to the party's alleged conduct, the sexually discriminating, harassing, and other inappropriate or unwelcome actions, conduct, or comments made during production of the film, complaints or discussions about the work environment or conduct on the set of the film, the production, editing, cut, and creative process associated with the film, efforts taken to market or promote the film, publicity surrounding the film, the retaliation campaign alleged by Ms. Lively. The motion contends that sealing is appropriate because, according to Ms. Ferrer, her deposition testimony contains sensitive details regarding the filming of intimate sexual scenes and the religious affiliation of another non-party who was not involved in this litigation. However, there are no quote-unquote sensitive details sufficient to overcome the strong presumption of public access to judicial documents at this stage. Ms. Ferrer's actions in the simulated sex scene at issue as young Lily are already in the public domain because the film was widely distributed. Moreover, Ms. Ferrer's deposition testimony does not contain any details, let alone non-existent graphic details, about the simulated sex scene in the physical sense. Instead, Ms. Ferrer testified about who was or was not present for rehearsals of the scene, whether she was or was not concerned about anything that occurred during such rehearsals, whether the scene was filmed or not, and her comments to the film's intimacy coordinator following the filming of the scene. Remarkably, after Ms. Ferrer completed her work on the film, she expressed her gratitude to Mr. Baldoni, stating that she had an incredible experience and praised him for creating a comfortable, safe space for her. Accordingly, Ms. Ferrer cannot legitimately contend that her testimony concerning a scene that Miss Lively squarely placed at issue herein is irrelevant to the court's judicial function on a dispositive motion for summary judgment. Ms. Ferrer's request to seal her testimony concerning the religious affiliation of another non-party is equally unwarranted. The testimony was provided by Ms. Ferrer upon questioning about the promotion of the film and the participation or non-participation of certain individuals in such events. The exclusion of Mr. Baldoni from promotion of the film, who orchestrated his isolation, the purported reasons for those actions, and the public's negative reaction thereto are all relevant to disproving Miss Lively's claim that the Wayfarer parties engaged in a so-called retaliatory smear campaign against her. We note that the non-party referenced by Ms. Ferrer has not moved to seal any portion of his or her own deposition testimony, which included the same topic of religious affiliation. Although Ms. Ferrer claims that she is particularly vulnerable to harassment and misuse of her deposition testimony and at risk of professional harm because she's a working actress, she is not entitled to greater rights than any other fact witnesses in this case. Furthermore, it is well settled that generalized concerns of adverse publicity and reputational injury, the only potential harms indicated in the letter motion, cannot justify an order sealing a court judicial document. We love you, Kevin Fritz.